one at a time, and we'll get the job done. Y'all know what to say. On three. 1, 2, 3.
And the home of the Jets.
Good evening, everybody. Let's talk Jets. We are about 1 month away from the NFL draft, which means it is smokescreen season. It is pro day season. Lots of rumors, lots of nonsense, a lot of clickbait. Bubs, how you doing, man?
Tyson, how's it going? Everybody in the chat, hopefully everybody's doing well. Yes, it is smokescreen season. It is the in-between period between, the first hot wave of free agency a few weeks ago. Now you kind of get the couple weeks to a month of just rumors, tons of mock drafts, tons of different talking points, trades, trades. Do you trade back, trade up? Who's going where? What's the pick? So all of those different things. Pro days, which the Jets obviously got a very busy schedule this week, starting today in Miami. You've already saw Frank Reich out there. Glenn was out there as well. So lots going on. And April 23rd. So today's March 23rd, almost exactly a month really to the day from the draft here in Pittsburgh. Start to get some answers as they continue to round out this roster.
My favorite thing is when, say, like the Jets were at the Miami Pro Day. The Jets are very interested in Carson Beck.
Oh, yeah.
Like, here's a news flash, man. The Jets are interested in the quarterback. So wherever they go, they're going to do a lot of due diligence. But it's funny, like, oh, they're very interested in this guy and that guy. It's like, no, this is part of the process. And the overreactions every year are just hysterical. And it's like, oh, Darren Mucci was really staring at that guy. Like, come on, man. This is what we're doing now. Like, but
they're really intrigued by Drew Aller. I've already heard that too. So
Drew Aller throw the ball as they should. You leave no stone unturned. You go to all the pro days. You value all them. But the most interesting thing is, and one of us may have predicted this, a quarterback now is on the surge. Mr. Ty Simpson is he better than Mendoza? Is he number 2 class? How far is the drop off between Mendoza and Simpson? Bubs, did I not tell you? The pro day didn't even start yet. The pro day is tomorrow. And look at the hype surrounding Ty Simpson now. It is so predictable how this happens every year.
Yeah, the Ty Simpson train is in full steam ahead, if that's the way you want to put it. It's definitely, you're spot on with that. Going back really to even, I would say, February, late January, you talked about Ty Simpson around late March, early April. Once we got to the pro days, once we got past training camp, you always get those late risers, especially this year in a class where the quarterbacks, obviously, outside of Mendoza, it's not a very strong class. You had a feeling that it was only a matter of time until these analysts, these reporters start to slowly but surely, kind of rise Simpson's draft stock for him. Then you get his comments at the pro day. You hear about what he was dealing with during the season, losing all the weight going into the Rose Bowl game. That's where right when his numbers and his play started to decline. And you look back at when he was healthy, and now people are like, okay, when he's healthy, you saw the player he could be. And now you're getting, I believe it was Orlovsky, right, coming out and comparing him to Mendoza, which is just ridiculous. It kind of goes back to the whole, and I'm not trying to compare the two, but just to the point that this happens every single year. I remember people back when, in like March of 2021, when Trevor Lawrence was the consensus number one, you started to get reporters say, oh, Zach Wilson's actually better than Trevor Lawrence. You started to get people who completely overhype him. And not saying that Ty Simpson, Zach Wilson, or Fernando Mendoza is the same hype as Trevor Lawrence, but it's another one of those situations where all the time it's been Mendoza. It's been Mendoza for months. Now all of a sudden it's, hey, this Ty Simpson guy, he's pretty good too. He's going to be taken in the first round. You get Schefter, Rappaport, either one of them talking about how he's going to go in the first round. The expectation is he's not going to make it past day one now for a little while. There was a feeling that maybe the Jets could take him at 33 if they liked him enough. So, yeah, the Simpson stuff, you were spot on. You called this from a mile away. Every year there's guys that rise and fall. Every year from a quarterback standpoint, especially this year where it's a weaker class trying to build, kind of Simpson up, if you will. The Schefter report, Orlovsky, the smoke screens, draft stock rising in full effect with Simpson.
But the draft cycle has come full circle when Fernando Mendoza, who was a undisputed number 1 pick in the draft after winning a national championship, was slam dunk, day 1 starter. The Raiders got him. Now it's like, is he the best quarterback in the class? He's got a lot of flaws. The coach in the win. Is he still the same player? And it's just like, now it's like you come first. Like, all your articles are kind of drying out. Okay, let's start the opposite now. Is he still the best guy? Like, it's just see how it all goes. And The fact of the matter is, like, I like Ty Simpson, but he's a good player. And the ones that were discounting him and putting him down during his stretch towards the end, you're not drafting the guy that is what you saw in college. You're drafting what you're predicting to be in the future, how he grows, how he develops. The player is going to be 3 years from now. And that's the catch with all this Boston. But I'm not saying take him anywhere too, but it's just this is all going to happen. I guarantee you tomorrow when they see him with added weight, he weighs 215 now. He looks a lot bigger. He's a lot healthier. He's got the mental game down. You're gonna watch him rip and throw all the throws. And you're like, all right, you know what? Maybe this kid ain't so bad. And the other thing too is that when Ty Simpson decided not to go back to school, that means he talked to a committee of people within the NFL and said, listen, where do you project me being drafted? If they said late second round, he's going back to school. They say you're going to be a first round pick, I'm coming out. And that's it. So there's a lot of different things to this though, but it's so funny to watch how it literally happens every year, dude. Literally. It's just you just watch it and you could see it at full steam ahead. And then once two analysts say something, everybody else piles on. It piles on. And then it's like full speed ahead, like you said before.
Yeah, and it's funny because just thinking of an example last year, now it actually worked out in the favor because he looks like the real deal minus the concussions, is Jackson Dart. For a while, nobody talked about Jackson Dart. It wasn't really until February into March where the Jackson Dart start really began or the Jackson Dart hype really began. And then the Shedeur Sanders drop off really started, where you started to hear when teams were meeting with him that they didn't like the way he was carrying himself in the meetings and all those things. And of course, he falls to the 5th round. Dart skyrockets up. Giants trade back in to get him. So Simpson's kind of along that similar path of, like you mentioned, it really is every single year of a quarterback rising up. And yeah, that's the thing with Simpson is, and I think you make a good point about the end of the season. If he really felt like he was a legitimate first-round pick, he was going to declare. If he felt that the end of season affected him so much where he wouldn't be a first-round pick and it really tanked his draft stock, he probably goes back for another year and comes out in 27. But this was a guy who, prior to the injury, was very much in the first-round conversation.
There was a part of last year. I should say
sickness. Yeah.
There was a part of last year he was playing very high-level football. Like, this kid's a slam dunk, first-round pick. He's got it all. The knack on him, which everybody knows, is his lack of experience. That's all it is. Yeah,
15 starts. Yeah. There was people that had him over Dante Moore in the early parts of last season. And then as the year went on, the late season struggles, and then you go to, obviously, Dante Moore ended up coming back anyway, going back to college anyway, so it doesn't matter. But, the hype on Simpson was real at the beginning of the season. It's the inexperience. It's the 15 starts of college ball to take that to the NFL. He's a guy that you feel like has to sit, has to learn, has to develop before you could just throw him into the fire.
Yep. No, and that's it. So, again, we're not going to dwell on Ty Simpson too much, but I just think it's hysterical how this is all playing out. The pro days tomorrow, you're going to see a lot of great things. The kid is smart. He's well-spoken. He knows how to handle a meeting. He knows how to handle everything. And you'll be on a full showcase tomorrow. The Jets will be there, as they should be. Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji, Frank Reich. Cool. You actually like having Frank Reich at workouts. All right, you actually have a guy that's been there, done that in the NFL from a quarterback perspective. So they can actually give Muji that insight. Like, hey, man, we're looking for this. We're looking for that. Like, kind of change your perspective a little bit, which is great. Not saying Tanner Engstrand couldn't do that, but having Frank Reich as not a consultant, but the sidekick. Like, all right, now we feel like we have more adults in the room to get better evaluations here.
Yeah, and it's funny because, last year, obviously, they didn't take a quarterback. This year, you feel like they are going to take a quarterback. At the very least for Frank Reich, as opposed to Engstrand, he's a grown-up in the room. He's somebody that's been there, done that, been through this process before. And with Frank Reich, too, he knows the type of quarterback he wants. We all know what a Frank Reich quarterback is. We all know what Frank Reich has had experience with working with. Those are those tall, big body passers. Now, Ty Simpson, only 6'2". He's not that 6'4", 6'5" type of quarterback that the Rivers of the world, the Lucks, even the Genos, that Reich has a history with working with. But, you even look at somebody like a Drew Allard, who's on that taller, strong arm type of quarterbacks. Those guys, like, that's where you start to make the connections. And Reich is obviously going to be very much a lot of input in those meetings. And it's good to have an adult there that's been through this process before and, hopefully can find his guy potentially, whether that is Simpson, whether it's a guy on day 2, day 3, whatever route they take.
Yeah, I'm still amongst the belief that they're not going to go quarterback in the first 2 rounds. I think that they're still going to try to get. They have Geno Smith, a good I guess, a placeholder for this year. You get your developmental quarterback in round 4, round 5, wherever it is, and you go from there. But I guess we'll see what happens from there. But the interesting thing is, today's what, March 23rd. Unless you want to say Bailey Zappi's it, but the Jets don't have a backup quarterback, and it's kind of interesting because it kind of proves that the media doesn't know shit. Because Carson Wentz is going to be the guy. It's going to be Andy Dalton. They're going to do this. They didn't do any of it, right? They really didn't get Geno Smith right either. So now you look at it, and it's kind of concerning to me because you want 2 veteran quarterbacks because you want 2 guys that can run your offense and manage your team without putting the pressure on a Drew Aller to start at any point this season or Nussmeier, whoever it is. And now you look at who's out there, and it's not an all-encouraging list. You can make a good case that Tyrod Taylor, bring him back. The Jets know him very well, very respected guy, always hurt. Then you have, do you want to trade for Will Levis? Do you want to go for Cooper Rush? I know Josh Dobbs today was released. But it was interesting to see, that they're still here now. I'm not panicking. To me, Tanner McKee doesn't make any sense at this point. It's like you just want to get a guy that has experience. Tanner McKee has no experience. He has very little, but you want
2 starts.
You want it to be Tyrod fine, Cooper Rush fine. I'm not going to, just weird that it's not done right now. I kind of surprising.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm surprised that out of this long of a process, going through all the different names that we went through prior to them landing on Geno Smith, that they wouldn't have 2 quarterbacks already going into these pro days, going into more deeper into this draft process. I had a feeling that it would. I kind of saw a world where we could potentially have Andy Dalton here. He ends up going to Philly anyway for just a 7th round pick. That would have been a move that I would have been on board with, something that I'm sure Frank Reich could have been on board with, given that they crossed paths with each other in Carolina. The Wentz was clearly just a smokescreen, I guess, at the end of the day, because forever it felt like Wentz was a given, and that obviously didn't happen. He returns to Minnesota. To be honest, if I had to make a prediction, I don't see McKee happening. He's only got 2 starts, nor are you probably giving up the draft capital that Philly would want for him. If Philly's going to want a 4th or a 5th, I'm not doing that. The most I'm giving up for a backup would be like a 6th or a 7th at this point.
But the thing is, if you're going to get a 4th round pick from McKee, I'd rather take a 4th round pick and draft my own quarterback. Right?
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
At this point.
Yeah, and who's to say that McKee can really be trusted if Geno would go down? Are we sure McKee can step in for 3 to 4 weeks? The guy's made 2 starts. One was good, one was bad. So it's 50-50. Now, McKee could be good. McKee could be terrible. We just don't know. To me, if I had to make a prediction, I think it's either going to be Tyrod or Cooper Rush. And we've talked about Tyrod a lot here, kind of on the under the radar type of guy. Nobody's really talked much about Tyrod. We've all kind of just, no pun intended with Geno, but we all kind of just wrote him off as he's not coming back. We're bringing in 2 brand new quarterbacks.
Yep.
He's still out there. He's still available. He's well liked in that locker room. There's a reason Tyrod's been around for as long as he is, because he's so well liked. He's a good leader. He's a guy that I would have total faith in helping out a rookie quarterback and being that guy in between Geno and the rookie, whoever you take. I've said it forever. We both said, if you could guarantee me Tyrod for 17 games, that'd be great as a starter. You're not going to get that. But Tyrod has proven he can be a guy. Now, the health's a serious concern, but he's proven that he can go out there and play competent football for 2 to 3 weeks, as long as he's healthy.
And the thing is, it seems to me, this is just my guessing, is that he never got fully healthy last year. He got hurt in training camp last year. Preseason.
Yeah, camp.
He missed the entire preseason. They brought him back. Then they had to play. It wasn't like he had a completely an offseason where he was healthy the whole time. He was ready, rocking and rolling. It was he was fighting injury the whole time. And that's the bugaboo about him. But the thing is, he's going to come cheap. He's a leader. And in a perfect world, he doesn't play anyway. Geno Smith plays all 17 games, or Geno Smith plays 13 games. You play the rookie for 4 games, whatever it is. You want somebody that's a veteran, experienced, can run the offense, can help mentor it, right? And then that's really, and cheap. That's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with Russell Wilson at all.
And
no thank you.
No, I want nothing to do with him either. I don't think he's going to come here because he wants a place where he can be guaranteed a starting job. He still thinks he could start in this league. I want nothing to do with Ross. Flacco is just flat out not happening. I keep seeing people bring up Flacco. It's just not happening. There's no chance he's coming back here. And I feel like Flacco is another one of those guys too that's probably coming here to be guaranteed a starting gig. To me, it's Tyrod or Cooper Rush. That's to me. And Cooper Rush is fine. This is a guy that he was awful last year, no other way to put it, when he was in for Lamar, but he was pretty solid for the years that Dak missed a good chunk of time over those couple of seasons. He led them to some wins. He was playing pretty well. So, look, nobody wants Cooper Rush or Tyrod. This isn't against them, but the ideal world is Cooper Rush and Tyrod Taylor, any of these backups that we're talking about don't have to see the field. The ideal world is Geno plays all season or Geno plays until the rookie's ready. So
now, what are your thoughts on Will Levis? Because Will Levis is a little bit different. Younger, has a lot of potential. He drove me crazy with his turnovers and everything else. Like, I'm like, this kid is he just seemed like he's reckless. But then you're just like, all right, you see what he is. He's like a ball of clay. What can Frank Reich do with him? Maybe you can reel him in. Maybe you can like simplify things. And all the things you say about how you can manage Geno, saying, listen, good offensive line, run the football, give him easy reads, give him the play action pass, all that. Can Will Levis do that in a pinch? And he's still got, like, don't hate the idea. It's a matter of how do you get him, though? That's the question.
Yeah, I don't hate it either. I think you're probably looking in like this. You could probably get him for maybe a 7th because they also signed Trubisky. At this point, he's their 4th or 3rd string quarterback coming off of a shoulder injury in the final year of his contract because he was obviously picked 33, so he doesn't obviously have the 5th-year option. So this is it. I don't hate the idea of Levis. For a late day 3 pick, a 7th, you want to throw a 7th rounder at him, bring him in for a season, and have him play behind Geno. Look, Levis is one of those typical young quarterbacks that has shown you he's got some skill. Like there's some talent there. There's flashes. There's moments. But then there's just the boneheaded plays. There's just the stupid mistakes. I mean, we saw firsthand week 2 of 2024 when he had that terrible fumble.
He gave the game
what was he doing? Yeah, in the red zone. That was ridiculous. The game before that against Chicago, he costed Tennessee multiple games that year. He started, I think 12 games that year. He went 2-10, I think, as a starter. There was a few games you could look back on and say they probably don't lose that game if it wasn't for Levis's boneheaded mistakes. The Jets had no business actually winning that Tennessee game. He handed it to them with those turnovers. Like the guy's got – you just look at the numbers. He's had 22 total touchdowns in his career, 21 passing, 1 rushing. He's turned the ball over 33 times. Like he's coughed up the football 17 times and then another 16 through the air with interceptions. Now, not all those fumbles got recovered, but he put the ball on the turf 17 times. Just back to the matter.
But if you're taking out a flyer, he's 26 years old. Yeah. I'm not campaigning that he should be the guy, but I'm like, if you look at options out there, if you're looking at he's got some experience, you bring him in, you hand the ball off. It's just like, okay. And if you get something with it, great. Not, who cares? But it's better. Like it's almost like I'd rather have Levis over freaking Russell Wilson. Like that's where I'm at right now.
No, yeah, I agree with you. I probably went a little too harsh on the Levis criticism. I'm fine with if you give away a 7th rounder for Levis for a season and you bring him in and he works with Reich and he's sitting behind Geno and he could sit, develop, and he step in for a game or two and I don't know, be okay. He's going to make probably the boneheaded mistake, but like I'd be okay with it. I'm fine with it. But yeah, the turnovers are obviously a concern. I never agreed with the people that said bring in Levis as a starter. There were some people on that train of, go out and bring him in. But as a backup, yeah, I mean, over a Russ, like the Brandon Allens of the world, we're really digging pretty deep here. You could do a lot worse.
But the thing is, I just want somebody that can push Geno Smith a little bit. Not that he needs it, but competition to go throw for throw. But if Geno gets banged up, you can run the offense where you're not taking a step backwards. Where it's like we saw last year, where it's like, dude, this offense, this is some Brady Cook shit here that I don't want to see. Like, be able to compete with your backup quarterback, which every other team in the NFL can do that. Why can't the Jets? But find that guy. It's not going to cost you a lot. $3 million, whatever it is. Who cares? Just spend it. Get him in here. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, you know what, the Jets may do that after the draft. And that's fine because maybe a team drafts somebody, they cut one of their veterans, whatever else. But I still think it's a need. And speaking of needs, as we talk draft a little bit, because that's kind of where we're at right now, pick number 2, I think it's safe to say, is going to be a defensive player unless we get shocked. Whoever you want to call it, Styles, Reese, Bailey, that's fine. I think we're all in the same boat where we're going to get one of those guys. To me, pick 16 is fascinating because everybody's got a different opinion. But for me, and I'll bring up Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft in a second, to me, Bubs, it has to be a pass catcher. It has to be a wide receiver if you want to be Sadiq. To me, it's like the offense right now, while you load up on defense is great. The offense needs playmakers, legitimate playmakers. I don't want projects. I don't want 5 more Arian Smiths. I want a guy that could be, A.D. Mitchell, Garrett Wilson, and this guy. And he's pushing A.D. Mitchell for time. Like, all right, we're going to be like legitimate talent, game-breaking talent. The other defense you have to account for at all times. We need that now. That's where I'm at 16. And everybody's like, oh, would you trade up for Simpson and this and that? I'm like, if there's a run on quarterbacks in the first or running wide receivers in the first round, I'd panic a little bit because I don't want to be left out where you're like, oh, in a deep wide receiver class, we skip in 16. Now we're going to 33 and waiting, and we're getting, like that second tier. I don't want second tier. For me personally, I want top tier wide receiver added to this team.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, 100%. They need to find, to me, at 16, a guy that could be this team's long-term 2 next to Garrett, and you have AD 100%. Mitchell as your 3. That, to me, is the perfect world. And then let's say you sign another veteran or make a trade for guys like your number 4, and you build out the rest of this room that way. But simply put, this wide receiver room, if the season were to start tomorrow, is awful. Like, it is terrible. Garrett Wilson, AD Mitchell, fine. But Zaya Williams, Arian Smith is like your 3-4. That's awful. You get into the Irv Charles of the world, the Jamal Pritchett's. Like, these guys are borderline. I think there's a world where Arian Smith shouldn't even be on this roster this year. The guy stinks. We know Arian Smith's awful. Come on now. Like, we're all Jet fans here. We've seen the long list of mid-round wide receivers just be flat out awful. Arian Smith showed you nothing last year. We know he's not going to be any good. I wouldn't be surprised if they cut bait. And if they cut bait, it probably means that they got better at the position too. The one concern, though, is the possibility with run-on receivers. And I don't think enough Jet fans have actually brought that into consideration, if you will, the possibility of like Mekhi Lemon not being there. I think we've all just assumed, myself included, at times I've fallen victim to this, just assumed, get Mekhi Lemon at 16. Are we sure Mekhi Lemon's going to be there at 16? I mean, just look at the teams in front of the Jets that could potentially take a wide receiver. I'm not saying all these teams will, but there's a world where I think the Giants will go Styles, but the Giants could take a 2 next to neighbors. Browns, Commanders, Saints, Chiefs, Dolphins, Ravens. All these teams could potentially, and again, I'm not saying that they're all going to do that, but there's a good chance Tate, Lemon, Tyson are all gone when you get to 16, like you said, where there's a run on receivers, and you wait till 33, you're running the risk of missing out on some of these top guys. Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn don't have the time, and they can't afford to come away with this draft with, okay, good player at number 2, miss at 16, get an okay player at 33, and I don't know, depth guy at 44. No, you need 2 legitimate starters with your 2 first-round picks, and you need 2 more starters at 33 and 44. There's no other way to put it, especially a wide receiver.
No, I'll even go deeper than that. You need 2 wide receivers added to this roster that are not like bargain basement, like Josh Reynolds, Stone Smart kind of players. Like, you need legitimate guys here. And this was the problem when you had a free agent class that was top heavy, that the Jets weren't going to be involved because a lot of those guys didn't want to come here. Or the Jets didn't want to pay the absurd money they gave, like Romeo Dobbs. Fine. But every team was in the same boat. So after your 5 or 6 top guys were gone, or top 8 guys are gone, now all these other teams are like, you know what? I'll just go draft one. And that's the mindset. So you're sitting there at 16. There's a lot of teams in front of you that have the same thing. You know what? We'll just draft a kid. We need one. You could always use a top-notch receiver on your team. Always. So this is where you're up against. And that's the kind of thing where it's like, oh, like you see the chat, just go get Lemon. Then you see he could be gone by 16. And the more mock drafts you see, the more you see the run where you're like, Tyson may not even be there. This guy may not even be there. And I'm like, I'm already at, like, I'll take Sadiq at 16. Don't even care about it. Call me crazy. I like him, but that's where I'm at. But I don't want the Jets to settle in the first round and be like, oh no, we're gonna get guard. We're gonna go safe and go guard at 16. Okay. Now you're gonna wait till 33 to find your legitimate contributing wide receiver, and then get another one probably round 4, round 5. You need 2 of them. So it's the first round is gonna be fascinating for the Jets, man. It's gonna be really, really risky. I agree. Yeah,
and to me, like, ideally, Mekhi Lemon's there at 16. There's no chance Carnell Tate's there at 16. I'd be stunned. I think there is a world where Lemon could be there. It's not out of the ordinary. Tate, I think, is the first player off the board. And I agree. I don't think Lemon will be there either. I could see Tyson falling more and more, and we talked about this a lot. The biggest issue with Tyson is the injuries. If the injuries weren't there, I could make a strong case to Tyson. You can make a strong case Tyson's one of the better receivers in this draft. He already is one of the better receivers, but you can make a case for Tyson over Lemon if he was healthy. But the health is a massive issue.
Okay, we respect his talent. His talent, when healthy, is phenomenal. The dude can't work out now. He's got a hamstring injury now. He's not even doing workouts. Like, it's like, are the Jets in a spot to take that chance where, like, there's not like this injury caught us by surprise? No, you know what you're getting here. While you appreciate the talent and respect it and everything else, but, like, are you in a spot to take that risk with him at 16?
No, they need somebody that can step in day one and be a contributor for sure. Now,
not hold your breath every rep.
You never know what's going to happen with all these guys. Some of these guys, great health in college, come to the NFL, can't stay healthy. But you don't want to start off on the wrong foot with Tyson, where you already have those concerns. Like you mentioned, he's not going through the pro day, not going through the offseason stuff. He's had, the MCL, torn ACL. Like he's had some major injuries, hamstring issues. He's had soft tissues to torn ACLs. He's had it all. And that's the thing too. Like there's a chance he drops. So that also then puts you in a tough spot for the Jets. Like, do you want to take that risk at 16 where maybe there's a world where if Tyson was healthy, he would have went before Lemon, and that could have opened the door for Lemon to be there at 16. But now with Tyson's health concerns, that makes Lemon even more of a stronger number 2 behind Tate, where that makes the chances, I guess I'm going the long way to get to this point, but the point being is that makes the chances of Makai Lemon being off the board as number 2 higher. And then like that's where you get into like the Omar Coopers, the Bostons, the KC Concepcions of the world. So you're more your second tier guys, I guess, if you will.
That's for Tony. Yeah. So we'll talk about how this. We'll go through Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft. It's really interesting because a guy that I'm very high on, he doesn't even have going in the first round, which I'm completely shocked by. So, what's up, Nick? How you doing, man?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you been?
How's it going?
Good. How about you?
Good, man. We're a month to the draft, man. So we're just trying to get there.
I hear you. So, maybe not comparable, but do you guys like Jameson Williams as a player?
Man, super explosive. Does some really dumb things. I mean, yeah, why not? He's a game breaker.
He uses a gadget guy too.
Yep.
Well, like coming out of Alabama, like he had injury concerns too. So like similar, it's like this is kind of what I'm thinking. Like I love. There's one thing you can't teach, right? And it's height. And like whether it's Tyson or I really love Boston. I know he's not. He reminds me. I don't know why. Same last name, David Boston, back in the day.
Yeah, remember him? He was a beast.
Yeah. Yep. And like I'm just like even at 16, I love that compliment to Garrett Wilson. You in the red zone, you need something like that. And at 16, that's what I really love. I know there's going to be concerns, but like to get a top receiver, there has to be some concerns. Like over the years, like what was it? Like I remember like maybe or off the field, but like Des Bryant, like all these top receivers, they fall. Randy Moss, they fall because of reasons like that. Like whether it's injury concerns off the field, and that's how you get this top tier player. So like I think at some point in time you got to take a chance, and like opposite Garrett Wilson, I love that size.
But see, the Jets in a position to take that chance. Like if you're the Rams, okay, because you're stocked at wide receiver. If you're a team that has 2 established guys already, you're taking that chance on a guy you're going to count heavily on week 1.
Yeah, but Mitchell's not great. He's serviceable for a couple games as a 2. And if you're using a first round pick on a guy, at least theoretically, who can ease himself into 8 games this year, then you have 8 to 12 games of a competent number 2 wide receiver. And I'm just hedging my bets on that. And the thing is, with 3 first round picks in 2027, you can add another receiver theoretically if these guys are that bad. And the same thing with the quarterback. Like I feel the same way. Yeah,
but I'm not going to say let me take chances this year because I can get better next year. I want to get better this year. Like to me, like I like him, dude. I like him as a player, but the fact that he's still hurt now is just like, dude, this has been lingering. And the Jets right now, it's like, can you take that chance? Do you want to take that risk? Are you in position to do that? Where I'm like, you know what? Maybe you go Sadiq. Maybe you go a different route. Maybe see who else is available. Maybe
I'm okay with Boston there. If like, I know he might not be ranked as high, but like, I'm okay with that because like you give me that size. Like he reminds me of Drake London coming out.
Yeah.
And I think what makes the guys with the size, the contested catch receivers intriguing is Frank Reich's got a history with working with guys too like that. You even look at like Pittman with the Colts, I believe back in his time with Philly too. What was Alshon Jeffrey was like 6'4", 6'5". He was good with those contested catches. Reich has a history with that. I love Tyson too. I do. And again, I can make a case if he wasn't with the injuries, you can make a case he's wide receiver too. Like he's that talented. He's a beast. But here's the thing with the Jameson Williams comp. Like Jameson Williams, his first 2 years were pretty much a wash. He hasn't really come on until these last 2 years. Like I believe he only played, it was like 18 games across 22 and 23.
Yeah,
I guess just my thoughts is this regime can't afford to take that risk of Tyson going out there this year playing 8 games.
So,
I guess that's
missing all training camp, not learning the offense, like a whole wasted. It's.
And I love that point. And here's what I worry about. It's like to that point, kind of just tethering into something else. Like I worry that we're going to stretch for a quarterback because Glenn and Muji are going to try and save themselves by reaching for a quarterback. Like, oh well, we got Simpson at 16 or whatever it was.
But how does drafting Simpson save themselves? The only way you're saving yourself is you win games. You're going to be very competitive. If anything, the Jets need to add as much talent as possible to be competitive as possible. Simpson's not doing that for you because he's like, you know what? We're going to draft Simpson. He's going to sit for 15 games. How are you getting better that way? So the opposite would be they don't want to take a quarterback because they need talent.
No, it's fair. It's fair, but I think the idea is that, hey, listen, I haven't given my quarterback a chance yet. We're waiting 8 games in, so I still need more time. Like it's kind of a stall. Like that's kind of how I view it. And that's what I worry about is that this regime, and to their credit, I think Muji's done a great job. Like I worried that we were going to overspend and give a 4, 5, 6 year deal to some player who doesn't deserve it. And they haven't done it yet to this point. So to their credit, I guess, benefit of the doubt, they haven't done that. So, I'm holding their feet to the fire on this, but like, that's what I worry about is that there's going to be some stretch for a pick because Glenn may think it might buy him time.
I mean, I can see them stretching for a player, say at a position where they go for a wide receiver none of us agree on. I don't think they're going to stretch at a position, though. That's why I think because quarterback is a bullseye. I mean, that is like the smoke comes out, the fire, the alarms, the sirens, everything else. Simpson comes out, you have full just chaos within the Jets community, right? If you stretch and they say, take Sadiq at 16, you're like, wow, taking a tight end there. Why are you doing that? You got Mason Taylor, you got this. Like, all right, if you stretch that way for a playmaker you believe in, doesn't really bother me. But the position thing, that's where I'd be out.
So
I don't think they'll do that, though.
You threw this out there, and it's actually kind of funny because I haven't really looked too much into the position. But at 33, like it's one of those things that like that 33 pick is so valuable because it's basically a first round pick. And you mentioned Sadiq. Now I don't know, I haven't looked into the tight end, so I can't speak on it. But like you could have the top 2 or 3 tight ends fall to you at 33. And like again, I don't think like. I'm not sure what Mason Taylor is yet. I don't think we even know. Like same thing. Ruckert's kind of shown himself to be, is what it is. Maybe he's just a blocker. So like to me, at 33, like that pick is just an open-ended discussion of who's the best player to help the offense.
You can be the best player available, and you figure that's like the teams have after the first round is over. Everybody sits around, they think about it. Then you have everybody's like trying to look at that pick, the marketability of that pick, and who wants this, who needs that. It's got value. You can make a case you can even trade it back and get more assets.
I get a feeling that might happen because like there's still the possibility of again who's there, what quarterback is there at 33. Like if Simpson's off the board, then could they drop back, try and get a 3rd rounder and work in one of these other quarterbacks?
I think Simpson's gonna be a 1st round pick, dude. I don't see him going in the 2nd round. I just can't see it. The more you hear the rumors, the more you think about it. The fact he didn't go back to school, he had to consult with somebody. Say, hey, come out now. You're going to be a 1st round pick. You're going to get this. I don't know, man. What do you think, Bubs?
No, yeah, I think Simpson's probably going to go day 1 at this point. I could be wrong. I mean, none of us saw Shedeur falling to round 5, so I guess anything's possible at this point. But in terms of 33, I mean, it's a very valuable pick, and the Jets could go in multiple different directions. They go offense, they could go linebacker, they could go safety, they could go corner, they could go many different areas. Like if Jacob Rodriguez was on the board still at 33, that to me would be a home run pick. Yep. The more and more I look into it, if he feels like a day 1 guy at this point, he's rising up draft boards. But then there's also where you could trade it. Could you maybe restock another 1st for 33 and give yourself 4 1s next year? Now the issue with that is like Muji and Glenn, that the timeline they're on, they've got to build up this roster. They can't afford to win 3 games next season and say, oh, well, we have 4 first-round picks. They might not be there to make those picks. So
has there ever been that precedent before? Like that's kind of crazy. Like
rounders?
No. I mean, like trading like the top pick in like this a 2nd round pick for like, or even a 3rd round pick this year for a 2nd round pick next year. Like I feel but like 33 going for a 1 in 2027 is interesting.
Yep. It is interesting. You'd be like, yeah, I'll take it because next year's draft class is so valued by so many people. But at the same time, you're creating a hole. We're like, all right, we're all trying to count on getting 4 playmakers in this draft, and now we just gave away one of them for next year. Now you're waiting until the next pick, where it's just then you could trade up, trade back. There's so many different ways you can go.
Yeah.
But to me, I
Very
love
valuable.
playmakers, man. Like I just the Jets did a good job of addressing a lot of holes on defense. They still have some more, but the offense, it's almost the same thing as last year, where you're like, you look at the playmakers on offense, you're not really inspired. You're like, all right, it's like, oh, well, we got Mason Taylor, great. You still have a lousy wide receiver group, and you got to address it at some point, because it's like, especially if you want to develop a young quarterback, you got to develop a young quarterback by having these guys in place. So if you get Ty Simpson this year and you're sitting there watching, they could develop chemistry in practice. Or if you have these guys this year, say you get Cooper, whoever else, he has a year with Garrett Wilson. Next year, when you draft a quarterback, he's already 1 year in the NFL. He knows the offense. It's a transition for that quarterback is so much easier.
Yeah. I agree. That's where I'm at. Like, build out the rest of this roster. Just getting Simpson at 16 just doesn't – maybe it's because I'm impatient and I want to see this team build up this roster and try and win. Getting Simpson at 16 just doesn't do anything for you this year. Like, you still have a massive hole at wide receiver too. Then you're relying on pick 33, 44 to make those picks. Like, to me, you got to get two legitimate studs at 2 and 16. There's no excuse. You got to get a stud at 16. Number 2 is easy. Like, great. You hit the number 2 overall pick out of the park. Great. Most GMs could do that blindfolded. 16, 33, 44. What do you do with those? Do you trade them? Like, how do you work those picks? I'm not saying trade 16, trade like 33, 44. Like 16, you need a legitimate playmaker there, whether that's Sadiq, whether it's Lemon, whether it's Cooper, whether it's Boston, Tyson, who knows?
Especially nothing in free agency. Like, when you did nothing in free agency, wide receiver group, it's like you put more pressure on yourself to do that. And that was the one thing you said, like, in free agency, they went out and got somebody that's like, all right, you have a little more flexibility in the draft. You don't feel so like pressured to do so. They didn't do that. So kind of put that. And this is a good point, because Parcells did have 4, because he got what? It was Sean Ellis, John Abraham, Chad Pennington, and Anthony Becht, right? That was the 4 guys.
And that's actually kind of one of the things that prompted me to call in, because you were talking about Levis before I called in. And that's one of those things that, like, pushing Geno, and like one of the best quarterback, one of the only quarterbacks we ever developed was Chad Pennington. And what did he do? He sat for a year because he had Testaverde and Ray Lucas ahead of him that prevented him from coming in. So there's a lot that could be learned from that. But before I go, I just want to tell you that at 16, I'll leave with this, that there's going to be a lot that's going to fall, because edge rushers are always valued. So at least 2 or 3 edge rushers usually come off the board. Tackles are usually valued. Usually two or three tackles come off the board. Yeah. There's going to be, obviously at least 1 quarterback off the board. So right there, you're already at pick 7 or 8. So I think there's going to be and that's not even getting into some players like, Styles and Downs that are probably in the top 10. So I think a receiver is going to fall, or a playmaker is going to fall. Who knows? I mean, I don't think Love will be there, but like, you just never know.
Love?
Every year, no, I don't think he's going
top 5, dude.
No, but I'm saying, like, every year there's some
Tennessee.
guy. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think it'll be, but there's a guy every year that falls. Like, who the hell knows? And with those positions, because of where the value is placed in the NFL, right? Edge rushers, like pass rushers, pass catchers, quarterbacks, that's always going to be inflated. So there's going to be 1 or 2 guys that go way higher than we thought. And like the year we got, what was it, Olu? What, 3 quarterbacks went before him, and that it worked out in our favor. So let's just hope that happens, fellas.
Good talking to you, man. Have a good night.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
No, in drafting, I think this draft is, this draft is so unique, because in theory there's only 1 quarterback. It's like Fernando Mendoza, so you don't have 3 or 4 teams jockeying up to get into the top 5 picks. Like next year's draft class, everybody wants to be in the top 5 because they want to get their quarterback. This year, it's like Mendoza, and then depending on what your evaluation of Simpson is. So that's what kind of makes this draft class very unique.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I could even see a world where there's a run on safeties in round 1, which would make 33 a little bit more interesting. I mean, I guess you could kind of simulate it, right? Okay, hypothetically, 1's probably Mendoza.
Well, we'll do it. What we'll do is, hold on. I'll share the screen. We'll look at Daniel Jeremiah's draft real quick.
Okay. Yeah, and then these 2 would be Reese. Yeah, this was Well, Maui Noah feels like the brother of Kiko. Of course, the Jets will probably get the worst Maui Noah out of those 2.
Yeah, so you're looking at this, and you're like, all right, if you go just in theory, do you see a world where anybody wants to trade up for Jeremiah Love? Did they say, you know what, everybody knows Tennessee wants him. Does anybody want to go up to the Cardinals? I don't think the Cardinals take Jeremiah Love. Do you see that happen?
No, I don't think so. They'll be getting James Conner back. So I think the Cardinals probably could use a tackle, especially given that they'll probably take a quarterback next year. You get one of your bookend tackles figured out. You probably go Maui Noah there.
Yep. So now you keep going down. Now you're like, all right, we're moving along. Then you got Sonny Styles is gone. And this is where you have your first wide receiver, Carnell Tate goes. Makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then in this one, he has David Bailey going 8 to the Saints, which is pretty wild.
Yeah. Ran with the Commanders with Bain. Yeah.
And then you have Caleb Downs at 10, which is like you have people saying that he can go at 5 to the Giants. You know. Yeah. So now, as of this point, you feel comfortable because you're like, all right, only Tate is gone, right?
Mm-hmm.
McCoy goes.
Yep.
Here goes Mekhi Lemon at 13 to the Rams. So now you have Tate and Lemon both gone.
Yeah. Lemon to the Rams would be wild.
But you got to fear the Rams. There's rumors about them trying to get AJ Brown. They've been active. They're always going to add new weapons with Devontae Adams on his way out sooner or later. So if you have Tate gone, Lemon gone, and now you're at 13. So pick 14. He has Jordan Tyson gone. So now here's your scenario. Now your 3 guys are gone, right?
Yep.
So that's probably arguably your top 3 wide receivers at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tate, Lemon, and Tyson are gone.
Yeah. So, definitely the top 3, even with the injuries with Tate. He's still 3 in my book. And in that scenario with Jeremiah, then you're into the Omar Coopers of the world and the Bostons and the KC Conception, and those guys.
All right. So now you have 15, the Buccaneers, they go edge. So 16, and this is where he goes. He goes Omar Cooper Jr., where he said, awesome compliment to Garrett Wilson, tough pass catcher who can play inside and outside. And this to me makes a lot of sense, dude. That I would not, is 6, but the question is that a reach at 16? Or you say, this is how the draft went, where the top 3 guys are gone. He's the next guy on our list. Or do you say, would you want Cooper or Sadiq? Like, how would you go with that one?
Yeah, I feel like this is prime Sadiq or Cooper territory. I like Cooper as the 4th in this draft. I'm okay with Omar Cooper. As Jeremiah mentioned, he could play inside, play outside. He's starting to gain some steam. He's just like a nasty physical wide receiver that just runs through people. Good yards after catch, good route runner, good against the middle, high IQ guy, is able to find the pockets in the zone. I would be okay with Omar Cooper here.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Like you desperately need a weapon. You can't risk losing Cooper and then you're left at, I don't know, 33. Let's say like the best available at 33 would then be, I don't know.
Well,
let's say
the problem, because you think about it, like
you
look at
got like the Chris Bells of the world, I guess.
If you just say in theory the Jets went guard there, okay, so now you have Cooper still available. Then you have like Concepcion, he has this being gone, so you figure Cooper would be gone as well. What else we got going on here?
I think did he have one other? I thought he had one other receiver too. I could be wrong. I was hoping McNeil Warren would fall to 33. Sadiq on the Niners. That's
Yes, Sadiq has been a first-round talent.
I've seen Sadiq San Fran. I've also seen Sadiq Baltimore because Baltimore loves those tight ends. Sadiq in Baltimore would be dangerous.
And he has this one surprised me. He had Jadarian Price going 32 to Seahawks. That's 2 Notre Dame running backs in the first round. I wanted Price like later on. Like even going to the first round is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that feels like that was an interesting one for Jeremiah with Price, because you've seen Price mocked like more so. You've seen him mid to late day 2 to go at 32, but they need a replacement for Kenneth Walker. So
now, we had the conversation about how we have a priority at playmaker, but with your top 3 wide receivers off the board, do you go best available guard at 16 because you're looking at best player available at a position of need? Is it a true position of need? Well, you signed Parham, not sure, but what's the best value for the Jets there then?
I think if anything, so like in this world, you mean we still take a reset too, right?
Yep.
To be honest, was Downs taken here yet?
Yeah, he went at 10.
He went 10.
Yep.
I think I'm still in the boat. Yeah, BPA if you go Vega. I would still be in the boat of take a playmaker. Now, if Downs was like still available and you wanted to go BPA, I would be fine with Downs. I just don't want to take a guard.
Yeah, because he put a premium on edge rushers, offensive tackles, the safeties are gone, corners. Yeah, McCoy's gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see
like I think you can get Emmanuel Pregnon at like 33 or 44, and that could be a nice Pregnon I've seen in some day one. Yeah, I've seen him go in the first round in some mocks. You're getting a first round talent potentially at 33 or 44 at guard. I just think that's the move as opposed to taking Vega.
Yeah, and the other thing
I don't know. Maybe I just have offensive line in the first round fatigue, but I think they could do fine.
I think
on day
the other
two.
Comment too was that I think Daniel Jeremiah. I think it was him or Daniel Jeremiah or someone else I was listening to. They were saying it's a very deep interior offensive lineman class too. So if it's a deep quality class, like all right, then we don't have to. But you're not really reaching at 16. You're getting the best one in the class.
Yeah.
At 16.
You are getting the best in the class. I like Pregnon too. Chase Besantis from Texas A&M is pretty good. Kalen Rutledge from Georgia Tech's another one that I've done a little bit more digging into. I like him. I probably like him actually more than others. He's more of, I've seen a lot more mid day two. I could see where maybe you take him higher day two. But then again, because I've seen some mocks too that have like 3 guards going in round 1.
Yep. Yeah.
I've seen Pregnon, Vega, and Besantis going round 1, which would then kind of leave you with like Rutledge and Jalen Farmer, I think was another name from Kentucky, but I don't think you're taking him at 33 or 44. I could be wrong.
So the question is Tyson above, Tyreek Hill or Debo worth a flyer? Tyreek Hill's not coming here. And Debo, I'm guessing, probably wants to go to a team that has a chance to win and make the playoffs. I don't think he wants to be part of a rebuilding thing. A little bit older, put on some weight. He was productive last year, but I don't think either fit my mold. What do you think?
Yeah, I think both those players are probably more looking at a team that can compete right away. I don't love Debo at this. To be honest, a lot of the veterans left, they're just name recognition guys. Like even D-Hop, I don't love at this point.
No.
You want to go down like the Tyler Lockett's of the world. Sure, there's steady veterans that have been around for a while with a lot of experience that, look, maybe I don't want to get too picky because the Jets are in such a bad spot from a receiver standpoint, so these all would be upgrades. But to be honest, I look at Denver and ask, hey, they just made the Waddle trade. Can you get a Troy Franklin? Can you get a Marvin Mims? Especially Mims. He's on the last year of his rookie contract. Can you bring him in? He has experience working with Banjo. He's a special teamer. Can he come in and be your number 4? And you take, let's just say, for the sake of this draft, Omar Cooper, and you tell me your receivers are Garrett, Cooper, A.D. Mitchell, Mims, that's an upgrade. You know,
I'd probably take Franklin over Mims.
I would take Franklin too over Mims. I just think they would be probably more likely to move Mims.
Yeah.
But then again, Muji has the connection in Denver. I actually wrote an article on Franklin. I would love to have Franklin. He fits kind of the Reich mold. He had over a 50% contested catch rate last season. He took a big year 2 jump. You still have him for 2 years of control. He's still cheap on the rookie contract. So I'd love Franklin. But like if I'm Denver, he's like the perfect wide receiver 3. They would probably, in my opinion, just be more willing to move off of Mims, who's more of that wide receiver 4 on the last year of his rookie deal. And I don't know if they're necessarily going to bring him back. Franklin feels like he could be a long-term piece in that room. But, you know, we've seen Muji get great value for guys. So
yep.
It could definitely happen.
The comment from Armand is if Sadiq is there at 16, the Eagles want to trade up from 23, Muji should just ask for the Jets' 3rd round pick back. Wouldn't hate it. I mean, you do that, and then, okay, now what playmaker are you getting at 23 now? Because now there's been a little bit of a run, and now you're moving back further, and Sadiq is gone. You take that off the board. Will Cooper still be there at 23, or now you're down to your 5th or 6th option at wide receiver? Sometimes trading is really cool. Sometimes you get too cute and too clever, which Joe Douglas did a million times. He kept trading back and trading back and got no talent whatsoever. To me, I don't want to get too cute. You want to make sure you still can get that excellent value at 23, and for me, it's a playmaker. You know, that's the scenario I'd be worried about. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, you can't do this, but unless if you guaranteed me that like Cooper would be there at 23, because then really at 23 you're getting to, because let's say for the sake of this draft, right? Because Concepcioni, he went 17 or what was it, 18 to Carolina? Or was it 9? Does Carolina have 18 or 19?
He went to,
I think
it was
it's
18.
they have 19, yeah, right there behind Minnesota. I like Dylan Feineman too. He's probably going to go in round 1. There's going to be a run on safeties, I feel like. If he's off the board, now Cooper wouldn't go 16 to the Jets. You'd be looking at like the Bostons of the world, more really in that category at 23. I guess there's a chance if they traded back to 23, if you really want to get weird, that's where they could potentially take Simpson, where they trade back, recoup a third, take Simpson at 23, take a receiver at 33, stick and pick at 33, 44. And
this is no. I'm not.
I don't want that to happen.
No, this is where I fire you. This is where hold on. This is where that comes in, because now we're getting too cute. Now we're trading back. We're getting a 3rd round pick, which is wonderful. We still don't have a wide receiver, and now you're getting a quarterback, which is like, okay, great. We still don't, like, it's just, and I don't know, man. And then you're saying we'll just get a guy at 33. Look at the run now that guys are ready. We're saying Concepcion's going to be gone, Cooper's going to be gone, and this is only round 1. You're going to be early round 2. Most of these guys are gone, man. Like, it's a legit run then, and now you're stuck. Okay, who are we settling for now? And that's why I start getting irritated. We're in a wide receiver heavy class, a quality class. You're now in the bottom 8 or 9 of it. Like, like the 9th or 10th guy.
Yeah. Even like the Chris Bells of the world, Elijah Sherratt from another receiver from Indiana. Bell also tore his ACL. That's hurt his draft stock. So he'd be somebody that injury history there too. From a wide receiver standpoint, I'm good with just sticking and picking at 16. Just give me a stud wide receiver. And I don't want to be that guy that's just, because, Muji wasn't here to take, now he took Arian Smith and he's a part of it. Muji wasn't here to take all the busts of day 2, day 3 guys, but there is something to that as a Jet fan too, that just, can we avoid the screw up at 33 or 44? Or can we avoid a situation where we take a receiver at that 3rd round pick? Because that's just always worked for us. And I don't want to have that mindset, but there is something to just drafting a stud. Like if Mekhi Lemons is there at 16, don't get cute, just take him. The dude's a beast. He can play inside, can play outside. He's got great hands. He fits perfectly next to Garrett Wilson. The dude's just a dog. Like, if you could tell me you get him at 16, he could play slot, he could play the Z, like, that's to me perfect.
Yeah, and dude,
you trade back, you recoup a 3rd, that's good, but you just need talent, you need weapons. They desperately need weapons.
Listen, man, like, I'm not opposed to drafting 2 wide receivers, to be honest with you, but like, I don't want to like keep trading back. Like, oh, we gained back this 3rd round pick, okay, and we still haven't added any friggin' talent. Like, that's the problem. So it gets. I don't know. I understand everybody wants to get more draft capital and you all want to do, but at the end of the day, I want Geno Smith to succeed. I want Frank Reich to run his offense, and I don't want to be panicking once Garrett Wilson gets banged up, which it seems like almost every game is down the ground laying there. You're like, oh, now we got to count on A.D. Mitchell and Arian Smith and Isaiah Williams to catch the ball 9 times a week, or 9 times a game.
Quentin Skinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're really digging. It's thin. It's ugly. You need 2 receivers. And I'm right there with you. I wouldn't be opposed to taking a guy on day 3. You tell me Mekhi Lemon, or for the sake of this draft that we have up here, Omar Cooper, who I like, by the way. Like I mentioned, he's just like a physical, tough, just is not afraid to just run through people. Tough to bring down. A lot of it's because of that. And then maybe you take this would probably be more late day 2. I don't know if he would. I don't think he'd probably fall, but like Jacoby Lane could be a guy later on. Caleb Douglas from Texas Tech was another one. You're probably looking more towards like the Josh Camerons of the world, the Kevin Coleman, another one from Missouri who would be out there. Like, take a guy like that on day 3 and then add a veteran, trade for somebody, and you come away with 3 receivers. They just need bodies. I'm good with that.
Speaking of bodies, what's up, man?
Well, guys, how are you?
Is this your 5th, Bubs, fun fact. This is Afram's 5th year calling into the show. This is why he's a highly touted guy now. This is why he's on all the channels. He's like a frequent guest all over YouTube. Like, every time I check out a channel, Afram's always speaking. It's like, he's truly the man of the people.
I try to remember how far back I went, and believe it or not, it was 5 years. You know who I followed? What call I followed that day?
Who?
Armand.
No way.
Armand was only on speaker, and I followed him. and I couldn't believe it was 5 years.
5 years. We've been doing
January 25th, 2021.
That's unbelievable.
That's how far. That was the first time you guys took calls.
We didn't know what we
Usually
were
was-
doing.
You guys, you kept you. I think you got rid of the phone calling,
Yep.
and it was just you and Kevin, just having a dialogue about games and whatever was going on at that time. Then you decided to do the call-ins, and I was going through a few of them, and there's a lot of guys that started and no longer even come on or where they are. You don't see them
Started their
anymore.
own channels and kind of forgot all
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Like, you know the best thing was a guy that covers he does a lot of draft analysis. He's like, yo, man, long time no talk. He's like, I've been really studying the draft. I'm gonna come on your show Monday night. I'm like, oh, cool. Just whatever. He's like, what's the call-in number? I'm like, call-in number? We have the next shit in 5 years. I'm like, you clearly haven't watched our show at all. He's like, oh man, I love everything you guys are doing. I'm like, you don't even know we don't even do a call-in show anymore. We like, man, you're out. Don't even bother.
Yeah, that is
the number.
That's funny.
5 years, man. Wow. And my hair was a little darker back then too. Believe it or not, that was insane. I'm looking
5
at
years,
that,
and we've
Surely we've had a playoff game to talk about, right?
no, nothing. No, that's why my hair turned white. I'm just. Thank God it's still on my head.
What's how many wins we watched in 5 years? It's not many.
Oh, jeez. I did the math actually for that. I think I might have it. When you guys reached 10 years, what was that? 2 years ago, was that?
I think so.
When did you reach 10 years? I called in and I gave the numbers. I did the numbers on how many wins, what the record was since the show started. I don't know if I have it.
It's the phone.
embarrassing.
Not many. That's all.
No.
Not many.
It's just
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Especially the last
It was
5
just-
years. Jeez.
It was the same thing every year. Positivity during the draft and free agency, and then the season started, and it was like right down the drain.
Right down the drain.
Right down the drain.
Well, I gotta look it up.
We expected more, and we got a lot less.
So look at these numbers, man. They wonder why we're so angry all the time. So you got 3 and 14, 5 and 12, 7 and 10, 7 and 10, 4 and 13, 2 and 14.
Not much.
It's just, it's
You know,
ridiculous.
and
They
I
gave
think
us
that's
a 9-8.
I think that's why your views were high during that time. It's the negativity brings out everybody.
we got a lot of views during COVID because we were getting hammered every game watching the game because we couldn't leave the house. So we just drank and watched streams all the time.
And watch Kevin Cook and everything.
Yeah, Kevin Cook. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I've been doing this too long.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is. I found it. So this was last year. So last year, February 15th, 2025 was the 10 years since you guys started the YouTube.
Oh my God.
Now it's not accounting this year, so I'll throw this year in because this will make it even better. So before this season's record, you guys were 56 and 108. That's a 341 winning percentage. Yeah. Let's see. How much worse did this year make it? 3 and 14. So that's 122. That's what, 59 and 122. Oh my God. We've got over 100. You got over 120 losses before you. You haven't even hit 60 wins.
Well, what are you saying, Bubs? That Jets now means just end the stream and just end the channel at this point?
Oh my God. Can you imagine?
Is the stream the bad luck charm? You know? My God.
It's 59 and
50
what?
58 and 109, I think.
Jeez, that's a 325 winning percentage. Since you guys started the YouTube, the Jets record is 59 and 122.
It's your fault right there. You see this guy right here? It's this
Why are you
guy's
always
fault.
so angry? Why are you always so angry? Look at my winning percentage watching this shit team.
This is why drinking has gone up.
Yes. My liver's dead. We still have no sponsorships.
Jeez, they haven't even hit 60 wins. That's what? That's 11 years. That's 59.
Now you got
what
something to
is it,
shoot for.
59
Get 60
divided by
wins. You
11,
can shoot for
that's 5
60
wins a
wins this
season.
year.
When we hit 60 wins, we'll celebrate.
Exactly. We'll have like an
11
anniversary
years.
show.
Hopefully we hit 60 in September.
Holy cow!
All we need is
So,
one
Afra,
win.
Seniority cut.
what are your thoughts on pick 16, where there could be a run on wide receivers, and we could be?
I don't know why I just got I like this kid Sadiq.
So do
I just think his speed, his size, and his ability, he could be your number 2 receiver, his number 2 weapon. You know, if he falls, I think he might fall. I could see Kansas City skipping him and going for a wide receiver at that point versus the tight end. They could always get a tight end later on, but you got to definitely get a pass catcher. You need a guy who can be your number 2. The job is to be your number 2 receiver, not your number 1, but your number 2. So if they fall into that category, you got to take that guy at that point, just because of the need.
So, but you wouldn't be.
You might have to skip the value portion of it.
Would you? There'll be an idea where you can be getting your 4th best receiver, your best tight end, or you can have your best guard still sitting there. Like, would that make a difference where you can get the best guard available in the draft?
I think like if you could get a Besantis in the 2nd round, let's say, if you really need, there's some good guards in there to fill in the spot.
But you can get good, or you can get the best in the class.
You get the best, but then you'll have like three guys you're going to end up having to pay big money eventually.
It's a good problem to have, though, man. You got
no, it's not a good problem, man, because that's a lot of
good young offensive line's the problem.
Yeah, well, the cost.
It's 5 years from now.
Yeah,
we'll have 100 wins by then.
Yeah, but it's but you need to start winning now. I think the winning has to start with an offensive player, offensive weapon. I mean, it's not like we have 100 picks, and is it a tremendous drop off from Vega to Besantis? Is it that drastic of a drop?
Well, you got the same question about what's the drop off from going from your 3rd or 4th receiver to your 8th receiver. That's like, how many tiers do you have? How many players do you have in each tier of wide receivers?
Well, the tiers are going to be based on experience and what they do best, right? What brings them to that level. But your job is also to coach them. Do they fit to your scheme? Will they work as a left guard versus a right guard? Because you already have Tippmann on right. You want to keep them there, right? Because the gelling with Membo.
Yep. All right, I got a question for you.
It's too many things we got going.
Would you rather have Cooper or
Sadiq at one time?
Would you rather have Cooper or Sadiq?
Sadiq.
Would you rather have Tyson or Sadiq?
Tyson's got too many injuries. I'm not taking that chance with injuries. I'm going with a guy that's been playing well. You know,
Bubs is. I think we may have Bubs.
No, I listen. This is how I feel. I just don't want to keep grabbing a guy that has an injury and then knowing our luck, he's not playing all year. Mm-hmm. You know, why take that chance? Why take that chance when you have, if you start doing good, you still got 3 ones. You can get the other kid. What is it, Jeremiah Smith, who's supposed to be a massive
next year.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Tyson or Sadiq?
It's a preference.
I know the health's a concern, but I'd probably go Tyson. I would say do Sadiq over Cooper. I agree, but that's if Sadiq's there. Like, there's a world where he's gone by 16 too.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's his face? Ian keeps saying he's going to go to the Buccaneers at 15.
Yeah, that's Buccaneers could use him, or Baltimore too. I'd throw potentially in there. They lost likely, obviously. So
we're always one pick behind, right?
Not this year, man. Not this year. The times are changing.
We're just one pick behind the pick that we want. So, I don't know.
We've had a fun stream this entire time, and now you're bringing us down with this.
Oh no, I'm not bringing it down. You've been talking like this up till now.
This is
why we're gonna get this. Don't go crazy. Let's not get go cute over here. We just don't know what they're gonna do.
It's a good point, Marvin. The Rams could take Sadiq too.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's true. So, are you ready for the Ty Simpson hysteria tomorrow, Afram?
You expected it. You expected it. Yeah, you got what's his name on take. I don't go blank on these guys saying that he should be the number one pick.
Orlovsky. Well, a lot of guys are saying
Orlovsky, yeah,
they think
not
he's
number one
better
pick, but
than
the best
Mendoza now.
quarterback, yeah, because of the amount of throws he made, and during the situations he threw, NFL caliber throws.
Wait till tomorrow.
Why did it take him this long to figure that out? You've had
Orlovsky?
the film. You've had this film for a long time.
Because now it's the quiet down period. You get a month to the draft.
Yeah.
You change it all up, and then you say, upon further review, I've now changed it again.
Yeah.
Everyone's reviewed this film for what is it now? We're in March. 3 months you've had the ability to view this film, and now you're picking up how many throws he's made, this and that. Yeah, it's just the hype. It's just next thing you know, Nussmeier makes it to the first round.
Yep.
You know,
you get the film and the fact that we all watched them during the season too. So you get that on top of the film, and now you're just making these conclusions. And now you got Schefter coming out to you saying he's going in round 1. So it's all blowing up.
Take him in. Would you take him with 33 or 44? Any of those?
Yeah, I'd be okay.
That he would be.
I'd be okay if they took him at 33 or 44, but not any earlier than that.
That gets interesting.
Yeah. Second
33 is interesting, but I think he's long gone by then.
Let's say we get a wide receiver in 16, or our playmaker in an offense, pass catcher, whether it's Sadiq or a wide receiver. What are your targets at 33 and 44 at this point?
Safety, guard, linebacker.
Safety and linebacker, yeah. If Jacob Rodriguez falls to 33, to me, you run and pick immediately.
What if a CJ Allen falls at 33?
Yeah, I like Allen too. I guess it depends on the safeties available. Like if you tell me Thieneman from Oregon or Emmanuel McNeil-Warren were still there, I like those two a lot. And then because then after that, you kind of get like a tier below. It's like the AJ Hall season, like the Zakee Wheatleys of the world.
Which is a bigger need for this team at that between the safety and linebacker?
Well, I mean, I wish we could trade Sherwood, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I still think linebacker. I still don't trust Sherwood. Like, I think they can, safety room wise for this season, like if you told me they got a guy on day 3, they brought in Minkah Fitzpatrick, they obviously brought in Dane Bell, and they've got Malachi Moore, they brought back Cisco, whatever. Like, I'm okay with the safety room the way it is. Fitzpatrick's a massive upgrade. You hope Malachi Moore can get better. He showed some good things last year. You have Dane Bell who could, special team or depth guy, has a magnet for getting the football, 6 interceptions in 66 career games. Like, he's a nice rotational piece. To me, I still think you need more linebacker. Like, there's still a big hole. Like, to me, I don't trust Sherwood at this point. If you tell me you get Jacob Rodriguez at 33 or even a CJ Allen, it's right away for this team.
But think about it this way: Sherwood and Demario could both be gone next year too. Like you could, you have your linebackers this year. Next year you could have none of them. This guy is you learn from a great mentor in Demario Davis, and next year you're the starter, you're the guy, and Sherwood's gone with that ridiculous contract. So you could have no linebackers next year.
And supposedly next draft is supposed to be heavier in a lot of positions. It's supposed to be very.
I think linebackers a big need, man.
Yeah. I mean, even just depth at linebacker is rough. Like outside of Sherwood and Demario Davis, you got like Michael Walker, who they brought back, Marcelino McCrary, ball special teamer, Kiko Malinois showed you nothing, Kobe King. It's rough. Like they've actually built up some solid youth at safety.
But
are they all going to be good? But who knows?
Listen, but we can't tolerate this negativity here because you're forgetting the most important part of all this. Defensive play calling is Aaron Glenn's superpower.
That's true. How can I forget?
Thanks for calling in, man.
Power. Take care, guys.
We have superpowers. Have a good one.
You forgot all about that. When your coach has superpowers, you can make really bad linebackers just be average. So it's good. We're
the only team in the league with superpowers. It's got to give us 10 wins automatically, right?
At least 9.
Yeah, at least.
What's up, man?
What's up, Tyson? What's up, Bubs?
How you doing, man?
How's it going?
Pretty good. Draft day is approaching, so it's all of our Super Bowls.
It's gonna be a long month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like wild card weekend, and it's divisional round, title round, then the bye week, then the draft's the Super Bowl. This is our time, these 4 weeks. We'll never get this in January and February, but we get it in March and April.
Yeah, it's funny. You guys were going through the records you have since you've launched the
This is terrible.
podcast, and it's Jet Nation just celebrated its 21st birthday, and I did the math on it. How many times have we made the playoffs in the last 21 years, off the top of your head?
Once? No, hold on. No, that's not true. 21 years?
What's 21? That's 2005? Are we counting?
We've got at least 2.
21
26?
seasons, the past 21 seasons.
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah.
Pathetic.
Good work.
This is why we're all
Jeez.
angry, dude. That's why the young fans don't understand like how much frustration and anger we have. It's like, oh, it's a sad day. You know what's sad? Like 16 years, no playoffs. Like,
Well,
we can't even get 9 wins.
Yeah.
heck, how many winning seasons is that in 21 years? 2015.
I think there was one
3
season
playoffs.
with, where they went 10-6 with Fitzpatrick and missed the
2000.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. 2015.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like 4
That
or
was
5
it.
winning seasons, something like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Jeez.
crazy. It's like you don't even remember what it feels like to root for the team because
Yeah, I mean,
There's
it's
nothing even to
crazy
root for. It's like-
because
you can't even get to October, where you're like,
yeah. And what's wild is technically the highest winning percentage season, because that's obviously back when they still played 16 games, was the 7-9 Gays first season. That's technically the highest winning percentage because that's a higher winning percentage than the 7 and 10s they had with Salah because it's one less game. And they started that year 1-7.
Wait, hold on. Look, just
And
real
they gave
quick.
us
though.
hope and they lost the 0-11 Bengals. Remember that disaster?
From
Jeez.
2016, right?
Brian Finley and the Bengals. What a
We got-
disaster.
5-11, 5-11, 4-12, 7-9, 2-14, 4-13, 7-10, 7-10, 5-12, and 3. This is just miserable, dude. Why are we fans? Like,
let's
let's,
And
let's
that
go a little
1-7
deeper here.
season, they were 7-4.
they choked.
Since 1960, how many 12-win seasons have the Jets had?
One.
One,
Yeah.
dude.
98.
No.
Now, how many double-digit loss seasons? Every year.
Oh, I'm sorry. They've had 2 12-win seasons. Or is that the only one they've ever had? Yeah, that
Because
is
they were
the
12 and 4
Yes.
in 98, weren't they?
They were
I
12.
believe
That
that was
was
the
the
only one they've ever
That
had.
was the only 12-win season they've ever had. That's almost impossible, man. That's 60.
Yeah, because
That's 60. How many years of football? Right, 65 years of football. Is my math right? Since 1960.
I remember I wrote an article on before the 2023 season. I look like such a Dumbo now doing this. You got to burn the article, take it out of the internet. But I did Jets records that could be broken, and the 12-win season was one of them. I think I did. Yeah, I did. They'd be their first like teen win season, if you will, where they could win like 13 games. I look like a clown now saying that.
Bobs, we
Rodgers
all-
blows his Achilles, and
It's
we'd be
that
lucky if we win
youthful
13
optimism.
games the next 13 years.
It's crazy,
This is true.
man.
They were 10-1. They lost all 5 games because Kenny O'Brien got hurt. They were
That
10
was
and 6.
86.
6 because Pat Ryan was playing.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it's incredible, man.
So what are your thoughts on the draft, man? It seems like there's a foregone conclusion that it's going to be either Arvo, Reese, Bailey, probably one of those 2 guys at 2, and then 16 where everybody's kind of debating who's going to be available, who they would take. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, Arvell Reese scares me a little bit, only because it's been 1 year of production, and I feel like the back half of this season, he was kind of in no man's land. And you hear like every scout pops up at this time, and you don't. A lot of the stuff that he does just doesn't show up on the stat sheet. And it's like, okay, if we're going to draft someone at 2, can we draft someone who does show up on the stat sheet? Because always spying the quarterback. I'm like, I need an impact player at that position. And, everyone's projecting him. He's 20 years old now. He's 240 pounds. Think about when he's 255 pounds after a couple of years in the weight room, all that stuff. It's like, I get it. I understand the physical attributes. I feel like you need to get a guy who can play right now, be a high impact player if you're drafting at number 2. I do love the player. I'm not going to sit here and throw a shit fit if he's the pick, but I don't want Bailey. I just feel like him against the run.
Yeah, but hold on. He'd be an impact player though, because you're getting a legit pass rusher though. That you'll get a contributor day one. No, with Bailey.
Yeah, I mean, it's that conference, man. I don't trust anyone out of that conference. Like who the 12 sacks he's racking up. Like I believe we saw Tyree Wilson a couple of years ago come out of there, and he was the number one, whatever you want to call him, an edge or a D tackle. Like, and he's done nothing. In that conference, man, like I need someone who's played high end competition game in, game out. And I'm not saying I again at 2, like I don't see Bailey either, and he's not great against the run. Like, are you getting another 2-down player? I mean, another guy who came out of that conference was Will McDonald. Like Will McDonald has a 10-sack season on his resume, so like okay, he can rush the passer, but like he's a 1-down player basically. I mean, he can't play first or second down for the most part.
So do you want Sonny Styles?
I love Sonny Styles, man.
So do I.
I love Sonny Styles.
But would you take him at 2 though?
Yeah, I mean, look, my dream scenario is like they get out of that spot if possible. I think I think you try to get down to like out of the top 5 if you can. Pick up another second or third rounder if you can. I think you have to. If you're moving down, you have to get real collateral back, right? You don't just move down for the sake of moving down.
Love to recoup a third.
But who is the player they're moving up for? Is it Jeremiah Love? Who's the guy somebody's going to trade up for to
yeah, I mean, I think Jeremiah Love. Like, if you think the Giants might be nabbing him at pick 4, like if you're the Titans or you're the Rams, maybe like, do the Rams want to just get another weapon and just go all in this next year? Like, I think that's a possibility. You've got one more year of Stafford, probably McVay. Who knows how long he's going to be around after that? Like, they've never been married to their draft picks, and I believe they have 2 first-rounders this year. Like, maybe you bait one of those teams into moving up for him. But like the players that I really like, like Caleb Downs, I wouldn't complain about outside
at 2?
Of the top. No, not at 2. I'm talking about like a trade down.
Back. Yeah.
Like a Cardell Tate, Kenyon Sadiq. I really like Mekhi Lemon. Even like Jordan Tyson. I feel like his draft stock has never been lower, and at some point, the risk reward becomes too good to pass up. Knowing the Jets are going to draft like Keldrick Falk, and
But it gets interesting if they trade back to like 5 or 6. It gets really interesting though, because like he said here, it's like you can get Styles, you can take Tate if you want to. There, you could take. I mean, you get Tate at 5, I'd be happy, or Tate at 6, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, I like Tate. I'm not as high. I don't know that he's going to go as high as everyone thinks he is. Like, this is a deep receiver class. He's very good. I don't know. Like, I don't know if he has that special high-end physical ability that you look for at like the very top of the draft. Like, is he going to be like a big body possession guy who just wins jump balls? Like, I don't know. I could see him falling, middle of the first round possibly, but who knows?
Middle of the first round. That's in the Jets range. Then they could trade up together.
Yeah,
they could. I mean, they got to
leave Tate at 16. I think that's great value.
If he's sitting there at 13 or 14, you got to get tempted, no?
And then there's Denzel Boston too. I mean, like there's not a shortage of receivers here. Like, they got to leave this class with 2 of them, and whether that's like a Sadiq and a receiver, or like one of the bigger guys like a Boston or a Tate, and you pair him with like KC Concepcion or someone like that. Like, there's some smaller receivers that I think gives you some flexibility to work from the slot and all that. But they need a big body receiver. Like, they just don't have that right now. Yeah. So I don't know. But
so what are your thoughts on Ty Simpson going into his pro day tomorrow? It seems like the hype is in full. It's hitting Mach 10 already.
I love Ty Simpson. I mean, I've been on record since October saying he's my QB1 in this class, and that's not to say that I think he should be a top 5 pick. But I think he got a really bad rap at Alabama. This is not like the Alabama we grew up with Nick Saban. You know what I mean? Like, they had a bad offensive line. They had 0 run game. He had one NFL receiver, and I think it's more of an indictment. Like I think my labeling him a QB1 is more that I just don't like Fernando Mendoza, and like I know he had a great season, but I just don't see like I don't see how he's a franchise quarterback. Like I just don't like that Indiana team. Like everyone acts like he was the savior of Indiana. Like people forget when he transferred from Cal. He came to a 10th ranked Indiana team. Like he didn't pick this team up out of the drudges and carry them anywhere.
Curtis O'Rourke got them to the playoff last year too.
Curtis O'Rourke did, and like Bubs, go look up Curtis O'Rourke's stats versus Fernando Mendoza. They're identical. And Curtis O'Rourke, I mean, I believe was picked in the 6th round or 7th round. Like no one was talking about him like a high end player.
Yeah.
Like Mendoza to me, I just see like a very stiff guy who lived off the RPO. People act like he's like gets through all of his progressions, and it's like he throws a nice back shoulder. Everything that they did was around the run game. And when you have the number 4 ranked rushing offense in the nation, like running that RPO freezes the linebackers, and almost everything that Mendoza did was first and second read.
Yep.
When he got off that, or you pushed him or flushed him out of his spot or outside of the pocket, he looked like a completely different guy. And I don't feel like he handles the pass rush well. He's a decent enough athlete, but like there's like what's his superpower? Like that he gives like these autistic-y post-game interviews where he's like it's like everything seems very scripted to me, and he's been so well coached on what to say, it almost comes off as inauthentic to me. And it's not a knock against the kid, like he seems like a good enough kid, but like I don't know, I don't think he's a franchise savior, and I feel like everything has to be perfect around him for to be able to succeed.
So you think Simpson definitely goes round 1? Where do you think he goes?
I mean, I can't see the Steelers picking him. Maybe the Jets sniff around him at 16. Look, I like Simpson a lot more than other people. The concerns I have around him are mostly, I mean, you can look at the 15 games and all that, but like to me, it's more about size. Like he measured in just over 6'1". He's 211 pounds, and for me, it's like, can he survive a 17-game season? Yeah. I feel like part of his late season kind of collapse with Alabama was the fact that he was just banged up and he was collecting hits. And it's like, can you physically survive? That's why, like, you want a bigger quarterback that can absorb those hits. Like, but as far as passing ability, like he's got a ton of anticipation, good accuracy. He's a good enough athlete. His coach's son, like smart. I think there's lots of light, and he's not young, like he's, which you could look at as a plus or a negative depending on your perception. But, I mean, I don't know that he's worth a top 15 pick either right now. Like there's a lot of risk there, and like if you're picking a quarterback that high, like you're committed to him for the next couple of years. So, like to me, it's like if you're the Rams and he's sitting behind Matthew Stafford for a year, it's a jackpot. Like that's the slam dunk for them. Yeah, for sure. But like if you're the Rams, like do you want to be allocating a high end pick when you have like 1 year to go win a Super Bowl? Like, yeah, but they got. I mean, they're stockpiled with talent too. Though I'm saying that's how it is. Yeah, I feel like the Rams have been like they've made a ton of trades over the past few years with Jalen Ramsey. And like some of the even free agent signings like Devontae Adams, like I feel like they're in this win now mode. They don't strike me as a franchise that like plans for the future necessarily. Like they cross that bridge when they get there, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, he would be great with McVay. I mean, I think that's like a perfect fit for him. Jack, thanks for calling, man. We appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, guys. Be good. Have a good one. Another week of Ty Simpson debates, and it's starting to change. I guarantee you, Bubs, this time tomorrow, everybody's gonna be talking about it. I'm like, oh well, I'm impressed by this. I didn't know that. We didn't see this. Be all aboard the Ty Simpson train for a good chunk of the fan base. And he brings up a good point. They could shock us all, and like, I don't know, go Styles at 2, and then he mentioned Keldrick Falk, or I would even throw Cassius Howell from Texas A&M. They're kind of like the 2023 version of Will McDonald, where people barely heard of these guys and they just take them at 16. Well, you got to keep in mind, like pretty much everything that everybody's been saying about the Jets so far for the last 2 years, nobody's been right. We all assumed so many things: Anzalone, Tim Patrick, all these different things. Yeah. None of it came true. Wentz,
Andy Dalton, all the quarterbacks. None of it came true. Derek Carr. So now it's like they could surprise us with their, they may like Styles a lot. We don't know. They may, trade back and get Caleb Downs. I mean, you can. There's so many different ways you can go. Like, to be honest with you, like as much as I like Reese and Bailey, I'm not really opposed to trading back. If they found somebody that would come up and they go back to 5 or 6, works for me, dude. Get more compensation. You're still going to get a great player at 6. You're going to get a great contributor no matter how you look at it at a position of need, whether it's safety, wide receiver, linebacker. Like if you got, say you go from getting Reese and then you get Bailey at 6, or say you get Styles or Downs or something like that. Fine with me, dude. And then you get your 3rd round pick, another 2nd round pick. I wouldn't hate that at all, man.
Yeah, no, it's intriguing. I'm trying to think. They would probably, maybe the Commanders move up for Love.
Could you
maybe
think about
the
right now?
Browns or Saints move up for a receiver?
Because the rumor right now is the Tennessee Titans want Love, and they're at 4.
Yeah.
So they know the Cardinals most likely aren't going to take Love. So you could probably go to 3, right?
No. I think the Cardinals are taking tackle.
Yep. So you'd want to go there. So then
No.
Giants won't do it.
You'd go, yeah. Unless if the Giants are worried that the Titans would take Styles, but I don't see that happening. If anything defensively the Titans do, Salah's going to get his hands on one of these defensive ends, because if it was all up, he probably can't resist the urge to. He'd love to have Bailey, I'm sure. Salah.
Yeah, so you figured the Giants wouldn't take.
So let's just say Mendoza. Yeah, number 3. Let's just say hypothetically, probably Maui Noah.
Yep.
4, let's just say, is Love. So then you'd probably have a team moving up for Love, most likely.
Yep.
That's what it feels like. I think the Giants are going to end up with Styles,
Because you get,
which pains me because I really like Styles, but
yeah, so we
I
have
think it'd
here.
be down.
So who of all these is going to trade up? Like, you're not, Giants aren't going to trade up to get Styles. They know they could probably get him at 5. Not they'll take Downs. Carnell
I
Tate.
think it would be for Love.
Right? That's the only player I think somebody trade up. It's not going to be Bain. They're not trading up for Bailey.
Yeah, because like even Tate, like why would the Browns trade up for Tate? Cardinals aren't going to take him. Titans wouldn't take him. I don't think the Giants. There's a world where the Giants take Tate. I personally think they're going linebacker though. Like if I had to guess, I think they're going to go Styles, unless if they start to hear that they're interested in Tate. But like it'd be probably either the Commanders, maybe the Saints could move all the way up if they love Tate and they want to pair him with Olave, and they're worried that he's not going to get past 5 through 7, where the Giants, Browns, and Commanders. But like, are they going to move all the way, up for that? Or are they okay with maybe taking a Mekhi Lemon at 8? Like, it all depends on how much they love one of these guys,
Yeah, I see the Giants going down.
And the Jets, yeah, I think so too. And if the Jets, is to say, move back to 7, so what? Let's say 2 is Love, 3 would be Maui Noah still.
Yep.
Then 4, that's where you get into the Bailey territory. Like I could see Salah taking Reese or Bailey.
Yep.
Can't resist the urge. And the Giants probably take Styles.
Yep.
Browns would then go. They could go Lemon there. So then you would be like the Downs and Bailey or Reese. They could go Tate. Yeah, you're right. They could go Tate. I'm sorry, because there would be no receiver. They go Tate. So then 7 would be like
Bain.
One of Bailey or Reese. Downs.
Ruben Bain's
Lemon would be there. Yeah, Bain's still available. Sadiq. Interesting.
That's what we're here for. Let's see. What's up, man? How you doing?
How y'all doing for the night?
Why do you look frustrated, man? You should be smiling. We're a month away from the draft.
I don't know. I'm just I'm having kind of a relapse to the 2023 season when Rodgers first came here. Because we don't have a backup quarterback to back up Geno. And the praise was, the Jets were like Super Bowl contenders with Rodgers. And then, I get a notification from Monday Night Football, snap, Rodgers tore his Achilles. Damn, that went down the drain.
Yep.
What I do like all the options that are there for the Jets. I still like Reese at 2 because the thing about
Wait, hold on.
is
But going
I
back to
the
the hold on. But going back to the quarterback, who do you want? Because a lot of options are down. You got what? Cooper Rush, Tyrod Taylor, or you got to trade for somebody.
I saw somebody mention Joshua Dobbs, and
He got released today.
I like that, but then what ended up in my mind was Dobbs is only 5'10", I believe. From what I heard, he may be taller, may not be. I'm oblivious to his height, but yeah, if he's available, like I will give Dobbs this. When he did, he's a starter in the league for sure. If
He's
Geno
6'3".
goes down,
I was gonna
Dobbs
say
is
Dobbs
6'3".
is taller, yeah.
yeah, he might. Like I said, I was oblivious to his height, but if he,
You're
if
just
he's
wrong, dude. That's not oblivious. That's wrong.
yeah, shit, my fault then. But still, I'm again having a relapse to again not having a backup plan at the quarterback position.
It's only March
because,
23rd, dude. This is the shit you're talking about was in season when we all knew they should have made a move and they didn't. They still have 5 months to figure this out.
Hopefully, it's just I don't trust this organization with anything.
Come on, bro. See, what you're not seeing is we have a magician at general manager and we have a head coach with superpowers. I mean, how many coaches in the NFL have superpowers? I mean, not many, dude.
Yeah, his superpower is trust me, bro. I'm not trusting you. Why would I? 15 years. I haven't seen the playoffs.
Why
since
are you
I
so
was in
angry, man? This is supposed to be our
elementary
happy time of year.
And I ain't have. They just went 4-13, 3-4, whatever record they had. We stink. Like
That was last year. Listen, if you live in the past, you stay in the past. We're now in the present. Now we're moving the future now.
You know
He's not
what?
buying it.
I'll see what happens when they finally get on the field. Now, what I will say is this:
Trust the process.
I still like Orville. I still like Orville Reese at 2 because, he's, maybe towards the end of the college season, he may not have much of an impact, but at least the veterans on the line like Onyemata or Harrison Phillips, even I guess the Mario Davis can like learn how to mold him into the player that the player that could be that force on the line. Because like I kept hearing, Onyemata is a nasty player. He's gritty. He can stop the run. I think Harrison Phillips. Yeah, it's just you build that mold of player with the veterans that we picked up, and we have a lot of veterans, especially on the defensive side of the football. And then at 16, well, that gets tricky. I mean, because a lot of Sadiq could go to a place like the Rams because the Rams got, even though they have like a tight end there, but they could pick up Sadiq and be like, okay, Higbee's not really giving us the production. Let's draft a younger version that's more athletic and could literally catch the football with one hand behind his back. So I would just say like get somebody like a Omar Cooper, because big body receiver. He could be opposite of Wilson, and he's not likely to go down with injury. Because just in case.
I mean, that
could still happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the injury thing is more Tyson than anything else. But I think younger guy. I mean, anybody can get hurt at any time. I mean, fucking Aaron Rodgers got hurt. It's like it's. But would you rather have the 4th best receiver or the best guard in the draft?
Receiver, because that's what we need. Nobody's
falling for my trick, Bubs.
Receiver, because because I seen too many times. Like I would love to get the best guard, but it's a draft of need in this time period right now because
You could have an offensive line of Membu, Olu, Vega.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, it could be a
Josh
situation
Myers.
where
Josh Myers, Tippmann, Young.
we have like even at 16, if we decide to go guard, it could be another situation of Elijah Vera Tucker, and we all know how that played out eventually.
Why do you always go doom and gloom? Why? What are we doing here? Have a good night, man.
Just rehashing the Douglas regime at this
Have a
point.
good night. I can't do it. He's like, every player we get's gonna be a bust. What are we doing here? Oh, goodness.
I didn't expect this to go down the Rodgers 2023. Not having a backup quarterback.
But what if the fourth best receiver? What if the draft is canceled? What about that? I mean, what are we doing here now? Ay. One more month, Bubs. One more month of this.
Yep. And
okay. So wait. So your way too early prediction is March 23rd. Your prediction for 2-16 as of today.
Reese definitely 2. I'm gonna say that for a while. I'm gonna stick with that. I think it's gonna be Reese. 16. I want to say Lemon, but I'm gonna say Cooper as of now.
Really?
Yeah. I think there's going to be a run on receivers. I could see a world where Sadiq's off the board. There's a run on receivers, and Cooper's there, and I think they take him. But I'd love to be wrong, and I like Cooper, but I'd love to see a world where Mekhi Lemon's there. But Reese definitely 2. 16, I go Cooper, but that could change. My final prediction might be different.
I'm gonna go Reese at 2 and Sadiq at 16 for now.
Sadiq.
I think there's gonna be a run on receivers. I think they're all gonna be gone. But
yeah,
you know, we'll see.
And then you go Sadiq 16 and a receiver at 33.
Yep. Yeah,
you still get a pass catcher at 16.
100%.
So.
I have no problem loading up on offense, dude. None at all. Doesn't bother me one bit. And wide receiver, tight end, quote me. Who cares?
Yeah, and Sadiq's a beast. Like he's more than just your prototypical tight end, if you will. So.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us.
Trade 44 too.
Dude, we can trade all kinds of things. We're all going to be wrong. Look at how many mock drafts are wrong every year, dude. They're like 10%, 10% accuracy, 12% accuracy. So
the March Madness brackets.
Oh yeah, same thing. So this week, Wednesday night, I'll be interviewing Dylan to do draft, and then Thursday night, 8:00, Joe Blue will be on here live, talking all kinds of. We're gonna be breaking it all down. So want to tune in for that. We appreciate it. Any final words, Bubs?
No, good show. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. And looking forward to more draft coverage. We'll see the Tyson stuff tomorrow. So I'm sure that'll be really people will be rising up the Tyson or not Ty. I said Tyson, did I? Or Simpson? Yeah. I don't know. Ty Simpson. I combined Ty. I said Tyson instead. Jordan Tyson's not doing anything this offseason, but Ty Simpson is. So I'm sure he'll rise up the boards. But continue to get reports as the Jets continue to go around all these pro days. So.
And follow all your content. You're writing for Jet Press and everything else.
Oh, yeah. The Jet Press weekly articles on there. Lots of draft stuff, too, coming up over the next couple of weeks here, obviously. And then YouTube is Bubs on Sports. Mock draft Mondays every Monday up until the draft. News uploads. We'll get into a lot more draft stuff coming up, pro day stuff, all the latest reports. So we'll be over there, too.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Again, this Wednesday, Dylan. Thursday night, 8:00, we'll be live with Joe Blewett. And then obviously we'll be back next week doing more of this. So talk to you guys later.